Okay, so right now I'm going to try to illustrate for you a little bit of what you're going to do for homework today. So the directions say telling sentence and showing sentence. Rewrite and expand the following sentences and ideas to create scenes with sensory details and images to engage the reader and help them to visualize and experience your writing as an engaged member and not an aloof observer. So I use a lot of abstract language in there, so you're probably going to have to reread it a couple times because it's boring as all get out. Again, this is why you want to use sensory detail and imagery. So here's an original sentence. The old man stood in the grass and relaxed as the sun went down. It's not bad, right? We have grass and we have sun, and we can kind of see those, right? They're like borderline images. But notice the difference. In the show sentence, the grass caressed his feet and a smile softened his eyes. A hot puff of air brushed against his wrinkled cheek as the sky paled yellow, then crimson, and within a breath, electric indigo. Okay, so here's an example, right, of a lot of visual sensory details. We have a lot of sight details. We have yellow, crimson, indigo. We have electric, which almost makes you feel a little shock, right? We have hot, which is something that we can also feel. We have puff, which is a sound. We have the word brushed, which makes us feel something, and so does the sand or the grass caressing his feet. So we have a lot of sensory details in there to really draw us in. Now, our job, right, is to your job, I'll help you with number one, is going to be to rewrite the sentence and expand it, including some good sensory detail to really show that you know how to zoom in and blow up a scene to engage your reader. All right, so the boy pulled a large fish out of the river. Boring, right? Like the boy. Okay, how old is he? What does he look like? I don't know. Give me anything other than the boy. A large fish. Okay, what is large to you? Right? What kind of fish might be interesting? Out of the river. What kind of river are we talking about here? We talk about the Fox, like the Fox River, where they have those sort of like really scary fish from all the pollution, and you sometimes think they're going to grow legs and walk out of the river. Or are we talking about a big carp, a big walleye? Um, all those details will help make this more interesting. So let's see what we can do here. First, I think I want to try to describe the boy a little bit. So, and I don't just want to say the boy was wearing bib overalls. Boring, boring. No, 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 no. Let's have him do something, and in the course of that, we'll show what he's wearing, and hopefully, it'll try to help the reader understand how old he is. So let's see. Brushing the wispy blonde. Whoa, sorry, a little bit of Google there. Brushing the wispy blonde bangs out of his sandy green eyes. The boy grasped tight to his homemade stick pole in his other bony hand. A long piece of yellow yarn, the best that he could find in a pinch, while trying to escape his mother's chore list. Oh, looks like Todd's weed eating out there. His chore list outside. His chore list this morning. Okay, let's read it again. Brushing the wispy blonde bangs out of his sandy green eyes, the boy grasped tight to his homemade stick pole in his other bony hand. A long piece of yellow yarn, the best that he could find in a pinch while trying to escape his mother's chore list this morning. Was doing little at first to help him catch supper. Okay, so I think we covered the boy. I want you to notice that these details, they do more than just give you images. They actually are telling you something about the boy's social class, right? He's got a stick pole. He doesn't have a brand new fishing pole. He's using yarn to fish. He's got a chore list. He is trying to help catch supper. So we get the indication that maybe the boy is poor, or for whatever reason, he needs to. He doesn't seem like he is one of those kids who comes from $1 million house and is all dressed up in a suit and tie, right? So we get an image of him. So now our next job would be to try to talk about that fish, right? So let's see. Brushing the wispy blonde bangs out of his sandy green eyes, the boy grasps tight to his homemade stick pole in his other bony hand. A long piece of yellow yarn, the best that he could find in a pinch while trying to escape his mother's chore list this morning, was doing little, at first, to help him catch supper. I have really long sentences so far, so I want to try to come up with a short one. You really want to vary your sentence structure. You don't want a lot of really long sentences, a lot of really short sentences. How about the pole bent suddenly? So now this is interesting, right? Like typically if you wrote the word suddenly and put a period at the end, your English teacher would tell you that was a fragment. Now, once you understand sentence structure and you're writing fiction, you are allowed to use fragments as long as you're using them stylistically. But honestly, you have got to know the rules before you can break them. So if you don't understand run-on sentences and fragments, then you cannot do this. If you do, you'll understand that this works effectively. So the pole bent suddenly. With a quick jerk, the boy pulled the stick high over his head, back hard, harder than he had ever pulled before, until both he and the pole lay sprawled haphazardly in the long grasses along the river. Splat. There was a thud as the monster fish fell 2 feet from him in a tangle of yellow yarn and seaweed. From where the boy lay, the fish was 3 times the size of his head. No, 4 times. They would eat tonight, he thought, with satisfaction. Tonight, he and his mother would eat like kings. So, okay. All right. So I wanted you to actually witness my process because I did this very carefully, right? I took my time, I picked my words very carefully. All of my details, I think, helped to bring my story together. I tried to use sensory details. I tried to let the reader see what I was seeing. And I tried to vary my sentence structure. All of these things are really difficult. So what I'm asking you to do is to do the same with the remaining sentences for this assignment today and really try to show and not tell with really good sensory details and word choice. This is not easy. It's hard work to do good writing. But if you focus and if you really try to find those best words and you really try to show, like stick to those sensory details and be concrete, you will be successful at this. Okay, so I asked my daughters to recreate what interrupted my screencast before, and here we go. This is what I saw. Go.